occupiers back at it today, and for the life of me, I can't fathom what they're protesting about. All I know is they're still angry and still bitter, and they are still blaming. Tom Belesis feels their pain. He even hired an occupier earlier last year to prove the point. He's back with me right now. Tom, I was thinking of you ahead of a guest who I had on my Fox News show who defended the occupiers, because I want you to react to her explanation about why they're an effective movement. This is earlier today.
Or if you think that Rosa Parks was the first person to sit in that bus to get arrested, then you have no idea about the civil rights movement.
If you are comparing these marchers with those who march in sympathy and support of Rosa Parks, you have another thing coming. There's a night and day between those crowds.
The reason why Dr. King started talking about socialism within a democracy, and the reason why Dr. King was killed,
when you compare this crowd with the crowd that rallied with him and on his behalf.
Neil.
I think she's glomming on to the wrong causes.
You know, Neil, you have to feel sorry for a person like this. I mean, it just shows how misguided this whole entire movement is. With what she's saying, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I mean, the OWS movement started as a protest about income inequality. You had two types of people. You had the normal people that were involved, which wanted to go out there. If they could make a change to benefit society, great. Now you had the extremists. Now, as the normal people were getting involved with this movement, and they saw that the extremists were just not negative on income inequality, but for society in general, they said to themselves, we're talking about people that have families, most of them have jobs. They said, why am I going to get involved with this?
But they compare to the Rosa Parks and, literally being forced to the back of the bus of even getting a seat in the bus, and Martin Luther King trying to get all people's equality, night and day. Having said that, though, you helped get an occupier a job when the last big dust up.
That is correct.
She got a job. She worked with you. She did so well. She went off on her own. Is doing very, very well.
That is correct.
But very few seem to want a job. So what do they want?
You know what? They just want to create noise. They don't want to work. I mean, what's mind-boggling, Neil, is that this movement now, according to the polls for public support, has gone way down. I mean, this movement really is irrelevant now.
What do you think hurt it?
I think there was no leadership, there was no articulated message to go out there and say why this movement was necessary for what's happening out there in the world today. So as that started to die down, I mean, you had other important issues that have arisen, which are the lackluster job market, what's going on with the debt issue in this country. It's mind-boggling to say, Neil, that why is the media focusing on this movement so much and not focusing on what really matters, which is...
I just think it's bad, Tom, when any group starts protesting for jobless benefits instead of jobs, there's something wrong. But having said that, I mean, did it tap an anger or something that's out there that's bigger than we know? Because obviously this group would have had bigger results than it has.
You're right, Neil. That's a great point you bring up. And I think it starts with the administration. I mean, the failures of this administration and the blame for Wall Street, these so-called fat cat bankers.
Yeah, but they didn't take their wrath out on Washington. They just focused on Wall Street.
No, you're absolutely right. And they should have took it on Washington, not on Wall Street. I mean, we have an office right in the heart of the financial sector at 14 Wall. I mean, and it's made it so difficult for us to operate and people's safety because you have people sitting on the sidewalk, sleeping there. For what purpose? There is no purpose. It's a complete waste of time.
When you went to work today, did you go dressing like that?
I did.
All right, so you had a bullseye on you.
Absolutely.
What did you hear? What did they tell you?
They're screaming. They're they're ranting and raving on how Wall Street is the cause of what's happened. In the markets and people's livelihoods.
What did you tell them?
Listen, Neil, I don't pay attention to this noise. You know what? These people are lost. I feel sorry for them.
I was at an event last year where they were, and they started cursing at me. They thought I was Hannity. They really did.
No way.
I'm not kidding you. They thought I was Hannity, so I cursed back at them.
Really?
And Hannity got all this nasty email. I don't know what happened. But it was really kind of funny. And Hannity kept looking at himself. Geez, what the hell? I must have let myself go. But it really was true. But they were angry. In other words, they were very, very angry. And are they still angry now?
They're very angry.
Yeah.
And you saw it with her now. And the anger is not stopping. I think everyone should focus on what the real issues are in this country, which is people not finding work, the failures of this administration, and focus on November's election to get Mitt Romney elected into the White House.
Okay, so you don't want Barack Obama. Okay. Tom Belesis, thank you, my friend.
Thank you,
Star of
Neil.
Wall Street, too. Meanwhile,